Hello YouTube friends. Okay, so I haven't been doing a lot of the Bible reading videos lately. Just been very busy getting settled in over here in Germany and all that. Those will continue on, but I keep finding myself in conversations about dating in the Christian world. And everyone seems to be really confused about this, and it's quite easy to see why. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a video series on this and cover my perspective on it, what I do with it, my experience with it. We're going to talk to some fellow believers and get their takes on things as well, and then I'm going to actually go out and practice what I'm teaching in this series, because I found that the reason people have so much trouble figuring out what to do dating in a Christian context is because there's no mention of Christian dating in the Bible, and there's a reason for that. If the words dating, boyfriend, and girlfriend are not in the Bible, if they're not in Jesus's vocabulary, they don't belong in ours. And I know that sounds really outlandish in this day and age that we live in, but the idea of dating and this whole approach of some sort of romantic relationship before marriage really only came about in the 1920s, and it really only started to take hold around the 1940s and 50s when Hollywood got its hands on the idea. And it's really easy if you look and see the trend in divorce rate, you can see the correlation very frankly. From the 1920s to 1950s or so, divorce rates skyrocketed, about tripled. And we ought to know better than this. Now I know it's hard to imagine how to do that in these days, because that's the only thing we really know. And it seems ludicrous to date the way they did in the Bible, where they basically just met and got married pretty much on the spot. But that's what God showed us as a good example, and He never told us to stop doing that. So that has been my approach for a while, and so I'm going to go ahead and start showing a little bit about how I do that approach, how it works, and it's been absolutely fantastic. It hasn't worked out yet, I haven't found the one, but that's not going to ever stop me from doing this approach. I'll never go back to dating. And I'm going to explore a lot about why, the problems that causes, people's experiences with it. But I think we all kind of know as Christians, it puts us in this really uncomfortable place when we date as Christians, because we're trying to balance, talks about romance and intimacy and things without getting tempted into it. And it doesn't work. So anyways, we're going to get deep into this topic. Lots of really good conversations coming up. We're going to have lots of cool interviews. I'm going to be chatting with a lot of people about how they've gone about dating as a Christian, what has and has not worked, and none of it's worked really, and see what happens from there. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really exciting video series. I model my approach after Isaac and Rebekah, and so I haven't thought of a name for this series yet, but I'll probably come up with some cliche about Isaac and Rebekah or some cheesy line about that. But that's really the model that I follow and that I recommend, and I only recommend it because I live it. I'm recommending it firsthand, and I'm going to show how it works. And some of the key concepts about looking at Isaac and Rebekah are things like the servant being sent out, which represents the Holy Spirit, gifts being given to Rebekah, Rebekah being found at the well, which represents church, her watering the 10 camels, which represents the 10 commandments, her being rushed back as soon as they establish things. Rebekah's mom wants her to stay for a little bit longer to say goodbye and all that, and the servant, representing the Holy Spirit, says, nope, it's time to go. Then they get back there, and she comes up to Isaac, veils her face, and they get married that evening. And I don't know if things are going to work out quite that fast, but very close. And we'll get into the details about how to kind of navigate that, but you'll see it really quick. And when we look for the patterns of Isaac and Rebekah in a relationship, when we look for good walks with the Lord, good someone who's really sincere about their faith and has a decent walk, we're going to see that things can actually fall into place quite well, and I'm going to actively participate this out. So I am single right now, and I will be looking for someone who agrees to get married in this type of way. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really exciting little adventure. Lots of cool content coming up. Talk soon, guys.